Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're jumping into what looks like a really high-stakes legislative push happening in Washington.
Yeah.
We're looking at sources, mainly a Reuters piece from, well, just recently, June 30th, 2025, and it's shedding light on Senate Republicans
Yeah.
and a major economic policy move.
That's right. It's definitely got a lot of attention.
So our goal here is to kind of unpack these proposed changes, figure out what's actually being proposed, why it's such a big deal now, and what it could mean for you, for the economy.
Right. The timing is key.
Okay, so let's get into it. Senate Republicans are really pushing to make parts of those 2017 Trump tax cuts permanent.
Yeah, the ones enacted back then.
Exactly. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act from 2017. And the crucial thing is, many of those provisions, they expire automatically at the end of 2025.
Right around the corner, basically.
It really is. And we're not talking small tweaks here. It's things like the corporate tax rate. Remember that big drop from 35% down to 21%?
Oh, yeah, that was huge news.
That's on the table, plus changes to individual rates, the standard deduction, certain business deductions too, things that affect a lot of people and companies.
And what's interesting, I think, is the thinking behind it. Making these cuts permanent, it's a core part of the Republican economic philosophy, isn't it?
Seems to be.
It's not just about keeping things as they are for 2025. It feels more like a strategic long-term objective, shaping the tax code for the future, potentially impacting the size of government, especially if the political winds shift.
A big, ambitious goal, then.
Very ambitious, yes, and a clear priority for them.
And that ambition, it comes with a cost projection that's pretty staggering. The CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, they're the nonpartisan folks who crunch these numbers. Wow.
That's them, the official scorekeepers.
They estimate making these permanent adds, get this, $3.5 trillion to the national debt over the next 10 years.
Wow, $3.5 trillion.
I mean, that's just a massive number. How do we even wrap our heads around that?
Well, yeah, it's huge. And connecting it to the sort of bigger picture, that $3.5 trillion really forces a conversation about fiscal responsibility, doesn't it? About long-term economic health.
Absolutely.
Now, the argument from Republicans often is, look, lower taxes, especially on corporations, spur investment. Businesses expand, hire more people, the economy grows faster, and maybe that generates more tax revenue down the line. Kind of an investment in growth argument.
Right, the sort of pay-for-itself idea, or at least partially.
Exactly. But the CBO's job typically is to provide what they call a static score. It doesn't usually build in those potential dynamic effects, those feedback loops, into its main estimate.
Okay.
So that $3.5 trillion figure, it represents the direct hit to the debt based on current projections. And that's, a major flag for anyone worried about fiscal stability, about the debt burden on future generations. Just think, $3.5 trillion. I mean, that could fund massive infrastructure projects for years or wipe out a huge chunk of student debt, just to give some kind of scale. It shows how big this decision really is.
It really does put it in perspective. So wrapping this up, what does it all mean for you listening? We've got this clear push from Senate Republicans. Make the 2017 cuts permanent. The argument is economic growth.
Right.
But the CBO projection points to a very, very significant cost in terms of national debt.
Yeah, and it really just highlights that fundamental tension in economic policy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The balancing act between stimulating the economy, often through tax cuts, and managing the national debt. It's a constant challenge.
It definitely is. So it leaves you with something to think about. How do we, as a country, weigh that potential economic boost against such a huge projected increase in debt?
What are the long-term effects on the economy you live in? The one that affects your job, your savings, your future. Definitely something to mull over.